Once upon a time, there was a little boy called Howard who loved writing stories.
Little Howard dreamed of being a writer, and so he sat and wrote every night. But everything he wrote was fucking shite, yeah. Wubba-dubba-doo, wubba-dubba-doo. Worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world, worst writer in the world. He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer.
Hello and welcome to The Worst Writer in the World, or, as I'm calling it this week, The Worst Moustache in the World.
Go away. Leave me alone. My moustache is fantastic.
Yeah. Yes, listener, Howard has decided to grow a moustache.
Yeah.
And, is that a pencil moustache? Is that what you call that?
It's an adult moustache.
It's a teenager, childish moustache.
I'm all grown up now. I think that if I'm going to be a brilliant writer, I need to be a
Have a
brilliant
moustache.
adult and have a moustache.
Yeah, okay. So Howard's trying to make people take him more seriously by growing some rubbish facial hair.
Screw you. Come on, let's get on with the plot so far.
Okay. So this week's plot so far is by Gareth Edwards.
And he's a member of the secret gang, isn't he?
He is, and his secret gang name is Big Lizard Blizzard. And he says, Jacob and William Grimm, along with their mute scribe, Mr. Fitch, arrive in the god-forsaken backwater of Mother Holler to secure an interview with the mysterious Lady Valen.
Nice.
Unbeknownst to William, they are there in the guise of priests, as Lady Valen is keen to confess her many sins. This skullduggery is revealed in The Seven Ravens, a spooky fairy tale inn run by landlady and cackling bird aviary Mrs. Fox. But my favourite thing about this plot so far is that he then sent us a second message where he said, should just say aviary, because what other kind of aviary is there? But I really like bird aviary. Right, let's get on with episode 2. This week, we're going back to the Seven Ravens, where Mrs. Fox is going to tell a story to the Brothers Grimm.
It's a dark and terrifying story from over half a century ago, all about a little girl named
Rapunzel. Rapunzel is finally going to be in it. And not just Rapunzel, but her whole family. Yeah. Her mother, Danielle, who is a Scottish woman. Oh, hello, my name's Danielle, she might say.
Yeah, she would.
Her father...
who is a zippy.
Yeah. Her father, Edward, who for some reason talks like that. Oh, it's nice to meet you, Danielle. Do you want to have babies with me? Mm-hmm. And, big surprise, her twin brother, Rampion, who is also named after lettuce. Because the name Rapunzel means lettuce.
Yes.
And apparently you told me the name Rampion also means lettuce, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could be making that up.
Who knows?
I might have decided that.
You may. But either it means lettuce or it now means lettuce.
I mean, that's true about everything, really, isn't it?
No.
Yeah, either it means lettuce
or it now means lettuce. No, that's not.
Yeah, no. Well, I started my thought halfway through your sentence, and I thought you were going to say, or it doesn't mean lettuce.
I like it. All right. And one more character is going to be introduced this week, which is the Squire. Next door to this poor family is a large house with a scary squire living in it. So let's get on with it, shall we, Howard?
Yes, please.
Okay, so we're in the Seven Ravens Inn with Jacob and William Grimm.
And Mrs. Fox.
Mrs.
Fox, who's gone to fetch them drinks.
Yeah, and while she's not there, Jacob is explaining to his brother the evil, wicked plan that he's got to steal stories from a dying old lady, right?
That's right, he's giving us some exposition, isn't he?
Excellent, yeah. Right, so... Father received a correspondence from a Mr. Grieg concerning one Lady Valen from Mother Holler, who wished to confess her sins. He wanted no part of it, said he'd never ventured into such a heathen land. So you pretended to be him? Exactly. If Father finds out... He won't. Mrs. Fox joins them, carrying a tray with mugs and the bottle of brandy.
What be you talking about then?
Not quite, but she
I hope
does
you
go...
not be saying that you not be preached.
that you bain't be the people you say you were. I hope you won't be saying that you bain't be the people you say you said you were. No, we're not saying that. No. Definitely not saying that.
I don't even know what that means.
No, what she actually says is, "Here we go." Mrs. Fox pours them all out generous measures. "I'm surprised she's agreed to see you. She hasn't had a visitor in years. As a matter of fact, she contacted us. I can't imagine what for. To confess her sins. She's beyond forgiveness. She's Satan himself." "So, where exactly is she?" "Oh, she's not here. She lives in the Chase. Her solicitor, Mr. Grieg, he'll come and pick you up tomorrow. He'll take you to her if she's in a good mood." If she's in a good mood? Oh, what if she's in a bad mood? "Well, then he'll take you to the park so you can go on the swings." "Right. Does she have many good days?" "No, not since she turned 13. 13? Mrs. Fox suddenly moans and stares at the fire. "Ooh." William raises his eyebrows at Jacob. It's audio, so I've got to do raising eyebrows.
Good, very good.
So dredging up the past ain't no good to nobody. Dredging up the past ain't no good to Bobody. She says. Yeah. William tops up Mrs. Fox's glass. "Sometimes, my child, it helps to remember, in order that we might share the grief and lessen the pain." Jacob gives William a look of daggers. "I was just a baby myself when they were born." "They?" "The twins, Rampion and his sister, Rapunzel." Fade 2. Thank you for the fade sound effect, Howard. And I think that should happen in films more often. When there's a fade between scenes, Howard should turn up in the corner, waving his arms about, going... That'd make like Star Wars so much better. If when they did the wipes, there's you in the corner going... Zip!
Oh, that should be like coming on with some Winderline and kind of like wiping off the previous scene.
Exterior, Fable Cottage. A modest cottage. It's like, no, I'm not a cottage. No, I'm just a bungalow. I'm a shed. I'm just a shed. Come on, don't call me a cottage. Don't flatter me with words like cottage. Sits pinioned. A modest pinioned cottage.
Weird.
Between the towering wall of a mansion grounds and a forest. Oh, the towering wall of a mansion grounds. Okay, I see.
Pinioned. I don't know what that word means.
I'm not sure what that... I mean, I guess it seems from context to mean, like, squidged, right?
It does,
squidged between. But let's...
Like with a big, like, pole through it as well.
Yeah. The outer part of a bird's wing. Okay. So a modest cottage sits the outer part of a bird's wing, including the flight feathers, between the towering wall of a mansion... No, that's a noun. It's a verb. Restrain or immobilise someone by tying up or holding their arms or legs.
Right, yeah, okay.
So, I mean, that is what it... Because the second one is cut off the pinion of a wing or bird to prevent flight. So either it's... This cottage has been restrained or immobilised between the mansion grounds and a forest by tying up or holding its arms or legs. Right?
Yeah,
that's possibility number one.
That sounds more likely than the other one.
Or the modest cottage sits with the pinion of its wings to prevent flight cut off between the towering wall of a mansion grounds or forest. So you choose, listener. It's up to you. Which
both of these words seem to suggest that these are things that have been immobilised. So this was a cottage that used to go for wonders.
Yeah.
But someone's,
Well, I suppose maybe. I mean, it may be I'm not familiar with this word. I don't know how it's generally used.
I've never heard it before.
No, yeah, you're a very brave writer, though, aren't you? Sometimes you just go, I'm going to use a word that I'm not even sure if it exists. I'm just going to use it and hope for the best.
I am the type of writer that would write a word that I've heard but not actually know what it means.
But that's how everyone learns words, though, isn't it? You learn a lot of words you pick up through context, not through checking in dictionaries or being taught it. You see it in a context, and you see it again, and you kind of guess what it means.
Yeah, like this one time I saw someone being held down by their arms and their legs.
Yeah.
And someone said, "I'm pinioning you, I'm pinioning you." And I was like, that must mean be in a cottage.
Yeah, I mean, some people do it better than others, understanding meaning from context, you know. Some people make huge leaps of faith like you.
Yeah.
All right, so a modest cottage sits pinioned between the towering wall of a mansion grounds and a forest. There is a woodshed at the side of the cottage, outside which a man is stood chopping wood.
So it's pinioned between a forest, a wall, and a woodshed. Then maybe maybe when I wrote pinioned, I meant in between.
I think that's exactly what you meant. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why you didn't write in between.
Pinioned by.
You're pushing yourself to use more and richer vocabulary, though. That is a good thing.
And
that's
hoping that no one that reads it will know.
Hoping that you're right. I mean, that's a good thing. That's something I encourage my students to do. I say, don't be afraid of making mistakes. That's how you learn. And this is now. I mean, it took you 15 years, but eventually you learned that that's not what opinion means.
Well, it didn't take me 15 years.
It
didn't take me 15 years to learn that that's not what opinion means, because that opinion is a word I've used once in my life.
Yeah.
I don't remember using. Did it 15 years ago, and now I'm looking at it going, I've never heard that word
Absolutely.
before.
And now we're both learning something by your bravery to use a word you'd never heard of and didn't know what it meant. Right? Just in the hope that it existed. Right? 15
in
years
context
later,
to a cottage.
15 years later, we both learned something. And think of other people are listening to this and they're learning what the word means. Well, they might know. Maybe we're the dumb ones and everyone else knows. Yeah. Golden-haired twins sit in front of the cottage, identical, but for the fact one wears a necklace, presumably a girl.
One wears a necklace and the other one has a penis.
Yeah. I mean, identical twins, one of them is a boy and one of them is a girl.
Yeah. Identical twins. Two twins alike in penis.
You don't know how identical twins work, do you?
Well, I mean, Mrs. Fox is telling this story, and
Okay.
we know that she doesn't really know the difference between men and women because she expressed that in
Himself, herself.
yeah. So,
yeah, okay.
You know.
Okay, so it's a consistency of character again. You're demonstrating the mistakes your characters can make. So they are identical, but for the fact that one wears a necklace and is a girl. They have trapped a spider in a jar. We eat them as we sleep. Says the girl. She rubs her tummy. There it is, says the boy. He pretends his hand is a spider and moves it over the girl, inching over you.
Sexy.
Sexy identical twins. I'm just going to touch the bits of you that aren't identical to me. You know, just those two unusual lumpy bits on the front. Is that all right? I mean, basically my ideal woman is me with boobs. So, yeah, you. Yeah. No, he says, inching over you as you lay asleep in your bed, mouth open, breathing out and in. Yeah. And now it is on your face.
He's talking about his penis, isn't he?
Pittering and pattering over chin, nose, cheeks and lids of eyes. And oops! When you awake, you know nothing of the midnight feast. But I know about it. I remember it very well.
I was awake and made you eat it.
I've got the pictures I took. Now, do you know the truth about eating, what is it, like you eat 8 spiders and you sleep a year or whatever?
I do know the truth, yeah.
Do you want to tell our listener? Because it's one of them. That's a fascinating story.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. The truth is that actually there's a little boy coming and sticking his penis in his mouth. It's not spiders, it's semen.
That's not spider slime, like he tells you. No, it's like snails. You know snails leave slime. Well, spiders do that too. Yeah. No, do you know where that myth comes from?
I don't know.
Do you know? It's really interesting because it's a myth. The idea that we ate spiders, because if you think about it, how the fuck would anyone know that? Right?
Oh, yeah.
What test would you do?
What did they say, 8 in your life or 8 a night?
It's like it's a year. It's per
A
year.
year?
Yeah, it's like 6 or 8, I forget. But where that myth comes from is an article which someone wrote about how easy it was to start myths.
Oh, right.
Okay. To start other myths, and gave the example, just a stupid kind of idiot example. Like, I could say, we eat 6 spiders in our sleep every year while we sleep.
Yeah.
And then it got picked up as a real myth, and suddenly everyone was going, oh, did you know humans eat like 8 spiders a year while you're sleeping? And you're like, well, hang on, how stupid are spiders? What are they going, I'm just going to go and make a web in this mouth. I think it's probably full of flies. I heard humans say when you've got your mouth open, you're catching flies. Mm-hmm. So I think I'm going to build a web in the mouth, and I think I'll be, oh no, I'm dead.
What if spiders famously like hot, wet places? I mean, is that a thing?
Think about, they make webs in quite dry places usually, don't they? I mean, otherwise your oven would be full of spiders.
My oven's not wet.
What's a hot wet? I mean, otherwise your bumhole would be full of spiders, right?
Well, I mean, that probably happens as well. Depending on whether you're lying on your front or your back, they just go in any old
like which
hole.
wet hole is available. I'll go in there.
Yeah.
Go in there and die.
Yeah.
Right, let's get back to the plot, shall we?
Yes.
So, Rampion has just been explaining to his twin sister, his identical twin sister, Rapunzel, that she eats spiders when she's asleep.
Yeah.
Okay, so the next stage direction is he tickles her. She screams. He chases her with spider hands. Hang on, I'm just cutting the hands off this spider. Okay, I've got his hands. I'm gonna give him
Do spiders have hands?
No, these ones do. In fairy tale land, they do. The man watches them go, smiling to himself. Exterior forest. The twins charge through the forest.
Whoa.
They run into a field.
And then Rampion comes after her.
They're running together. They're brother
No, the
and
twins.
sister.
The twins goes first, and then 13-year-old massive
joke.
naught.
Yeah, all right, okay. No, they're running together, and it's all very innocent and nice because they're kids. Okay. The sun shines down. We hear the laughter. Over the horizon, the twins race into view. That's although the next line is the boy runs after the girl with hands ahead of him.
He's chasing the twins.
As though they were 2 spiders come to eat her. All right. How do you do that with your hands? As if they're... Okay, 2 spiders, I can see that, but come to eat her. Yeah, that's got to be. But then they've only got 4 legs because you're using your thumb. I mean, it's difficult because hand spiders only have 5 legs.
Yeah. Maybe he's like stapled some knives and forks to his hands.
What you want to do
like
is
that's
do
proof,
2 hands.
because they've got their cutlery with them.
Oh no, spiders! Oh no, spiders got me! It's gonna eat me! All right, so he's chasing after her with his hands, as if there were 2 spiders come to eat her.
Yeah.
She glances back, screams with a mixture of fear and joy,
Yeah.
and speeds up, heading towards an old barn. Oh dear me! I can't believe you told me.
Oh, sir.
You told me this was a horror, all right? And then suddenly it's incest sex is what's going on. Straight away, oh, I'm tickling you. Imagine the things that get in your mouth when you're sleeping. All right, run. I'm chasing the twins. Okay, right, let's go in the barn now, shall we? All right, so the next scene is interior Squire's barn. All right. The twins come careering in. The boy jumps on top of the girl, and they fall into the hay, screaming with laughter. He tickles her with his spider hands. All right? That's what it says. I'm not changing that line at all. All right. And if it said he fucked her with his squirrel penis, it would be somehow less disturbing than he tickles her with his spider hands. Then, worn out, they lie out of breath in the hay. That was quick. I guess they're young, he's done. He's all like, oh, thanks, sis. I really enjoyed grabbing your twins. Suddenly, a vast shadow passes over them. A towering figure stands in the barn entrance. You shouldn't be in here. Go now, and don't come back. Yes, sir. The twins make to leave. No, wait. The shadow goes to them. He comes very close to the girl. He sweeps her hair from her eyes and strokes her cheek. Go, now. Interior, Fable Cottage. Inside is sparse, but homely. Doors lead off to 2 bedrooms. A fire burns in the hearth, where Edward is praying to a statue of the Virgin Mary. Rampion is in a bath. Rapunzel is very slowly getting undressed. You're such a fool. Why is she getting undressed slowly? Why is she getting undressed at all? And why is she doing it slowly? Is that stripper music playing? She's the 13-year-old girl is slowly taking her boots off. Danielle takes a bucket which hangs over the modest fire. No, I'm not a fire. I'm barely a smouldering pile of ashes. Don't call me a fire.
I'm just a log. It's a hot log.
Yeah, I'm just a hot log. Yeah.
Yeah.
It takes a bucket which hangs over the modest fire and empties the lukewarm water over Rampion's head. Well, actually, what he says is, it's a little bit cold, actually. Danielle, is that the mother? Okay, so Danielle?
You should have cleaned behind your penis.
You mean my bumhole? Yes. Behind your penis. Make sure you clean. That's what your mum used to tell you. Have you cleaned behind your penis? I didn't know. No, I never do. I haven't cleaned anywhere near my penis. I didn't even take my trousers off. I just got in the bath with my trousers on. That was cold. Come along, Rapunzel. I don't want a bath. We have this every time. You have to have a bath. I don't want one. It's wet. She's got a point. Baths are wet. Unless they've got no water in them, in which case there's no point in having. Can I have a bath with no water in it? You mean just sit in a bucket? Yes, can I sit in a bucket? If you don't get in, the squire will come for you. Rapunzel, eyes wide, quickly disrobes and jumps in the bath with Rampion. It's cold.
She's got a rampion now, so she has got a penis.
Yeah, I think the person who's got a rampion was you when you were writing it.
Yeah.
And then the 13-year-old takes her clothes off and gets in a bath with a boy. The boy looks like me. And so does the girl. But with boobs. Yeah. No, that doesn't happen. Howard's not in it. It's cold. Danielle scrubs Rapunzel. You're taking my skin off. If you didn't spend so much time objecting, it'd still be warm now, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's true.
Make it hot. There's not enough wood, dear, and the fire's too modest. It keeps...
Maybe if I piss in it, that'll make it a bit warmer.
No, don't do that. Look at the poor fire. The poor fire's little more than a hot log. It can't make any more hot water.
And in my hot log, can make the water warm.
Shut up, Rampion. Please stop offering to piss in the bath and use your erection to heat up the water of the bath. Just be quiet. No, there is not enough wood, dear. Trees are made of wood.
Yeah.
She's a genius. The forest is full of trees. They belong to the squire. But you said the land belonged to everyone. I know I did. But I was talking bollocks. Actually, the land belongs to rich people, and they tell us that we can't have anything from it, and we all have to die in our small pinioned cottage with a modest hot log. Oh, no, don't call me a hot log. I'm little more than a warm twig. I know I did. So why does the squire have all the trees? Because he's greedy. Papa is always chopping wood.
Yeah.
We have to save our wood for the winter when it's really cold.
I'm not going to save my wood. I'm going to use it.
Be quiet, Rampion. I've told you, stop talking about your penis. Every time someone mentions anything that could be misconstrued as meaning penis.
But everything you say can be misconstrued as using penis.
Don't be ridiculous. Now, who'd like a sausage?
But I know someone who'd like a sausage.
Now,
and I'm
didn't
happy to give them a sausage.
Rampion, didn't I just? What did I just say? What did I just say?
You said they'd like a sausage.
Okay. No.
said
Try not to bring everything down to being about your penis. Okay. All right. Now I'm just going outside to strangle a cock. I got nothing. We have to save our wood for the winter. Okay, Rampion. We'll need your wood when it's really cold.
Give you more wood when it's cold.
I'm really cold now.
And I've got wood now.
Shut up, Rampion. Oh, you're a little terror. Danielle tickles Rapunzel. God, there's a lot of tickling. I mean, there's like every 10, maybe every 4 or 5 lines, someone tickles someone. That's it. Yeah, that's your main stage direction in this bit. Is someone gets in fact
Come here to Uncle Jimmy and let me give you a tickle.
That's it. It's not someone tickles someone. It's every 5 or 6 lines, someone tickles Rapunzel. That's what happens.
Yeah.
It's like they're going, the 13-year-old girl gets tickled again. I tell you, the next thing that's going to happen is a 30-something-year-old man with a weird moustache comes in.
That is what happens next day. I mean, that is basically what happens next to the story.
He has got lank, dark brown hair and is called Howard. Hello, he says, I've come to tickle your daughter.
Okay, so now many months have passed and it's now winter time at Fable Cottage and there's snow everywhere and the kids are playing out in the snow.
All right, so it's a long time since Rapunzel got tickled by you.
I think she's probably been tickled a lot of times since then.
Okay.
Yeah,
But she's not being tickled at the moment.
Right.
Now the kids are playing outside in the snow.
Yeah.
Okay. The sun shines a blinding winter light. Rampion has ice in his hands, which he moulds into a crude lens. What does it do, Rampion? It makes fire. How does it? I'll show you. He angles the lens so sunlight passes through. The grass produces a little smoke, but no flames. It's too wet. We need something drier. Can you think of anything, Rapunzel? Have you maybe wearing anything dry, like all your clothes, maybe? Okay, let's set fire to your clothes.
Yeah, because her clothes would definitely be dry because we know she doesn't like wet things.
Exactly. Rapunzel whispers, the squire's barn has hay, and we could fuck in it. Like after you've set fire to the barn, we could fuck in it while it burns to the ground. That'd be quite exciting, wouldn't it? You're a bit weird, actually. I don't think I want to die fucking my sister in a barn. That's not the way I thought myself going. No, the squire's barn has hay. Yes. Mention the squire's barn and Rampion's all like, good idea. Yeah, let's go there. That's a very good idea. No, you won't need your clothes. Don't worry. The wind whips up a little, and from the grass a flame grows. Okay, so he did set fire to the grass, but he didn't know, and now everything's going to burn down and everyone's going to die.
Yeah.
Dissolve 2. Exterior field. Edward is turning the soil. The cottage lays behind him over the horizon from where black smoke rises. He catches the smoke.
Gotcha! Tickles it.
You're it! Yeah, he tickles the smoke. Yeah.
Tee, says the smoke.
Now he catches the smoke out of the corner of his eye and races homeward. He reaches the top of the hill and looks down.
At his penis.
Nice. Oh, this is irrelevant. I should be paying attention to what's going on, but I can't stop myself. Anytime I get at the moment alone, I like to look at my penis. Oh, it's so big and good.
Good. Yeah.
I was going to say hard, but then I thought that's just the normal thing to say. Better if you said it's so big and good.
It's good, yeah.
Oh, look at my penis, it's so big and good.
It's big and good, yeah. I've seen it.
Okay, Edward's POV. The cottage has so far escaped the fire.
Edward's P, what?
Edward's P is off camera. Edward's P, what? Yeah, Edward's P, O-V. Okay, the cottage has so far escaped the fire, but tall flames...
On a run, is it?
Yeah, but tall...
Get off me, get off!
Oh, I'm not even a cottage, leave me alone, I'm just a shed.
And the fire's like, I'm going to tickle you, come on. There's a tickle.
You're going to tickle me to death.
Yes.
No, but tall flames and black smoke envelop the woodshed.
No, not the woodshed.
Exterior field. Edward practically falls down the hill to get home. It's better if he actually falls
It's
down.
not practical of him, is it? Impractically falls down the hill.
That is better, yeah. Edward impractically falls down the hill to get home. I should have run. Why didn't I walk? What's wrong with me? Edward smashes his head open on a rock and dies. Exterior woodshed. Danielle is desperately trying to put out the fire. She is a pathetic sight, a woman with a single bucket against this raging inferno. She throws a meagre amount of water at the fire. She's got a full bucket, and she's like, small bit. And Edward's running down. Edward's falling down the hill, going, throw all the water. What's wrong with you, Danielle? I'm just throwing a meagre amount to see if that works first. I don't want to waste water. She throws a meagre amount of water at the fire, then races off for more. Edward arrives. He rushes inside the cottage and returns wielding the bath. Now there is a sentence that I doubt anyone's ever written before. Edward returns wielding the bath. I mean, I realise it's probably a tin bath full of water, and that is something. But wielding is still the wrong word, right? Because you wield a sword or something. But if you're wielding the bath, the picture that put in my mind is a huge enamel bath, right? And he's like gonna hit her with it. He's like, right, Danielle, I'll show you to use a meagre amount of water. Water slops over the sides. He throws the bath at the woodshed. That's good. Not he empties it, but in fact, he empties it first behind where there's no fire. He's like, hold on a minute, I'll just empty the water. Okay, okay, that didn't work. It didn't help. No, he throws the water at the woodshed. Danielle returns and throws more water. We'll never stop it. I'll fetch help. Yeah, good plan. It's too late. She's the clever one in this relationship. He's like, I'll get on my horse and ride to town and be back in an hour with some more people to help us.
With a jug of water. With another bath.
Yeah, another. I'll go and get the neighbour's bath. Unfortunately, they live 3 miles away. It's too late. Edward grabs the axe and moves round to the side of the woodshed, which runs alongside the cottage. Through the smoke, he begins to smash away at the woodshed. Danielle looks on, concerned but impotent. Edward knows what he is doing, however, and the foundations of the woodshed collapse. It falls away from the cottage, folding in on itself. The fire continues, but away from the thatched roof of the cottage. Hooray! Edward falls spluttering at Danielle's feet. They are forced to watch on as their food and fuel is destroyed. Okay, that's bad, but at least it's not their house. That's what I was expecting. I was expecting the whole house to burn down and Rampion to die screaming on fire. That's what I was expecting.
They're probably both in the shed, though.
No, they're in the barn, right?
Yeah, they are in the barn.
Okay, that's good.
They might have left.
And the kids are dead.
They might have got to the barn and gone like, this is rubbish.
Exterior track. It is raining lightly. The twins make their way home. As they grow nearer, they see little wisps of smoke rising. Exterior. Fable cottage, woodshed, remains of. The fire of the woodshed has expired. Danielle stands watching the smouldering embers. The twins arrive. Mama? Says Ram. Mom? Danielle pulls the children close to her. Edward emerges from the woodshed. Danielle turns to him. He shakes his head. Danielle holds on tighter to the twins, squeezing the life out of them so that they never have to starve to death. Okay, so their house is okay. Their house did not burn down. And we're all very relieved about that. But the downside is that their woodshed did. And that didn't just contain all their fuel for the winter, all their wood, their precious wood, but also all their food.
All their potatoes burned down.
Yeah, all their jars of pickles burned down.
All their sandwiches burned down.
Burned down sandwiches. So this means they're in a pretty bad situation, right? Because they're poor, but now they've also got no food or fuel for the winter.
What are they going to do?
Well, let's find out. Interior Fable Cottage night. A tiny fire burns in the fireplace.
Oh, no, we've had enough of those.
Edward is stood praying to the Virgin Mary on the mantel shelf. She's like the real one. It's not because it doesn't say a model of. It says the actual Virgin Mary is there. That's where she went.
Yeah. Well, no, it doesn't say that like she's on the shelf either. It just says he's praying to the Virgin Mary.
He's on the
and
shelf.
He's on the shelf.
Yeah, she's in heaven.
Yeah.
And he's balanced
Just
on a
where
shelf.
he goes to pray.
Edward is on his praying shelf.
Because he likes to keep his feet warm, and that's where the heat is, all the heat's out.
On the mantle. Is it the mantle shelf? Is that what I said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did.
Edward
It's
is
true.
stood on the mantel shelf praying to Jesus. It's his mum, wife, daughter, mum, yeah.
Wife, daughter. Praying to Jesus' mum, wife, daughter. Edward is not very good at religion. Dear Jesus' mum, wife, daughter. I'm just hedging all my bets. I'm not sure. I've never read the Bible or believe in religion. Rapunzel whispers, I'm scared. Don't be, Rapunzel. Because he doesn't whisper. He doesn't say he whispers. I don't feel he can whisper. I'm scared. Don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Whatever happens, we'll always be together.
That sounds like famous last words to me.
It does. Actually, it does, doesn't it? It's like, don't worry, we'll be together unless something really unlikely happens, like a big rock falls on my head and crushes me to death tomorrow morning when I'm out tending the horse.
Well, I'm going to go and stand under that rock that I like to stand under.
Yeah. Tomorrow when I'm doing my morning rock standing. If that precarious rock I always stand under falls on my head, and that's not going to happen, is it? That'd be ridiculous. What? Nothing. Or maybe tomorrow. When I do my usual exercise of throwing knives at my own head. One of them accidentally kills me. What? Nothing. No. I mean, it won't happen. It won't.
We're going to be together forever and ever. Don't worry about it.
It'll be fine.
And then tomorrow, when I'm hanging myself to death with my death rope,
as I do every day.
morning.
Yeah.
Unless something goes wrong. Yeah.
All right. Danielle and the twins search through the ashes. They hear the sound of hoofbeats, many horses, and suddenly a whole entourage appears. At the rear, several carts containing vegetables, firewood, live chickens, etc.
Yeah.
Live chickens. At the front, 4 mounted guards, the squire himself, and Edward on horses. They pull up outside the cottage, and immediately the guards begin to unload the goods. The squire and Edward approach. The twins hide in the folds of Danielle's dress. Danielle looks at Edward. He avoids her eyes. Okay, it's going to be worse, isn't it? It's going to be even worse than just the house.
Oh, sounds brilliant. They've got all these great things now, all these chickens.
He's promised her his daughter, hasn't he? That's what's happening here. It's totally just like, I've got some bad news. It looks quite good. You seem to have brought a lot of food and things.
How did you manage to afford all
Where'd you get all those live chickens from? We haven't got any money or a shed anymore. I traded one of our less valuable possessions. Which one? It was...
well, we've got 2 of them, haven't we?
Yeah, it was...
We only need one, really.
What? Nothing. I didn't sell Rapunzel. What? So Danielle looks at Edward. He avoids her eyes.
Okay.
Good day, madam.
Well, I thought it was, but it looks like he's about to get worse.
Yeah, I think so. The squire gestures for Danielle's hand, which she gives.
That's me screwing my hand off there.
She unscrews her hand and gives it to the squire. He puts it down the front of his trousers.
Thank you. That's
much better.
One hand, and in exchange for 5 chickens. Some vegetables.
Okay, if you need more, and maybe you've got more than a hand, like have you got a daughter, maybe? He goes to kiss it and sees all the dirt under her nails. He flinches only for a moment, then kisses her hand nonetheless. He's a good person. The squire looks at the twins and sees the pendant around the girl's neck. I mean, that actually sounds like he is looking at her boobs now, right? Rampion, I believe. And you, my pretty young thing, you are Rapunzel, are you not?
I mean, apparently they are identical.
Yeah.
I mean, certainly where they've got clothes on. I mean, he must really fancy that necklace she's
Yeah,
wearing.
he must love that necklace. So that's why he looked at it. He's like, okay,
yeah,
I've just bought. The dad said I've bought the one with the necklace.
Both
All right.
hot. They're both really hot.
There were some pretty
I'd be
gorgeous
happy with
kids.
either, but I'd probably take the one I can put my penis in.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. That was really inappropriate. I accept that you can put your penis in men as well. I take that, you know.
I mean, you can put your penis in almost anything. It could be like, what about this melon? What about this cupboard? You can put your penis in the cupboard if you want.
Just put a pendant round it. Will that make it nice and attractive?
Put a golden wig on it. Yeah, so that happened. You are Rapunzel, are you not? Rapunzel doesn't speak. Danielle nudges her. Still, she does not speak. Yes, my lord, she is Rapunzel. Come here, Rapunzel. Rapunzel looks scared. I mean, fair enough.
Oh, he's got that voice.
Yeah, he's a terrifying man. The squire removes a beautiful rose from his lapel and proffers it. For you.
Smell my rose. Squirt, squirt, squirt. Ha, do you like a little joke? Hello. I want the boy, really. Come on round here, let's go.
Only joking. Only joking. No, okay, you can go home now. Come on, Rabbit. What? Nothing. Just get in the car, right? I'll explain later.
Get it back in my van. How will Rapunzel escape the evil squire? Will she climb down her own hair?
Or will she train an army of spiders to kill everyone in the whole world?
Spoilers?
Find out next week on the
Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world. Worst writer in the world.
Thank you for listening to this episode of The Worst Writer in the World, and thanks to everyone who's taken the trouble to review us on iTunes or Facebook or anywhere else.
Anywhere.
If you'd like to hear us reading and reviewing your reviews, you can hear that in the extended version of this episode, which is available to all our secret gang members on Patreon, and that only costs $2 a month, and you get all the extended episodes every week and a load of other stuff too.
Brilliant.
So check that out on patreon.com/manbycow, and there's also a link in the description to this episode. And if you'd like an example of that, of what we sound like
please.
reviewing your reviews, here is one right now.
Okay, this next review comes from Walk Through Wall Man.
Walk Through Wall Man? Who's
Jeremy
that?
Shelton.
Yeah, okay.
Something tells me this is going to become my new favourite podcast.
Good start.
All of Rufus and Howard's stuff is brill.
Brilliant. I like this review a lot.
Should have said Brillo, didn't I? Points off of that. I'm not saying that listening to this podcast will make you more funny and attractive.
But...
No, that's just it.
Okay. I mean, we didn't think you were.
Oh no, it says but. But just by listening to this podcast, the ghost of a PG Tips chimp gets a spooky banana. ... Probably. Actually, ... probably.
I liked it. What a bit surreal at the end.
Yeah,
I particularly like the beginning where he said we're brilliant at everything.
I like the bit whereby listening to the podcast, the ghost of a PG Tips chimp gets a spooky banana. ... Probably.
So you pleased both of us.
Yeah.
So 1 million points.
It's difficult to do, isn't it?
1 million points.
Unless you've got two hands. So, okay.
I mean, most people have got two hands. Yeah.
Okay, what?
It's just that every time we want to get pleased simultaneoly, we, for some reason, ask one-armed John.
Got to stop visiting
One-armed
one-armed John the hooker.
John-armed one. Yeah. We got to stop going to John-armed one. Hello, it's me, John-armed one. Would you like two hand jobs? Oh, no, I can't. Sorry, I can't do that. We also got a letter from Mr. Jacob Buller, who had a comment about the accuracy of your story. And he says, 1625 is a crazy year for the Brothers Grimm to be alive. Just in case you were looking for historical advisory on a 20-year-old script. And this is actually something I noticed a couple of weeks ago and let you know, that the Brothers Grimm lived in the 19th century.
Yeah, but we've not got to the end of the story yet. You've not discovered all about the time travel element.
Time travel and immortality variety element. Yeah, Jacob Boller, with you noticing how anachronistic Howard's scripts are.
Yeah. Stop assuming I've made a mistake and think about how clever and good a writer I am.
Also, how come you didn't notice about that bit where Fred got out his mobile phone? They got in his car.
That's true.
That was worse, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of The Worst Writer in the World. If you did, why not leave us a review on iTunes or Facebook or anywhere else, and maybe next week you'll hear us reviewing your review. The extended episodes are available for just $2 a month, and this week's extended episode is twice as long as this one. You can get them and much more by going to patreon.com/manbycow. Or, if you want free extra stuff, join our Facebook group, where we'll be posting extra audio stories and pictures of Howard's completely not ridiculous adult moustache. All the links are in the episode description or on our website manbycow.com. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next week.
He's a stupid, suck-ass, rubbish writer. Yeah.